I have been thinking about something for a long time. I mean, a long time. Not just something I thought about once and then forgot, something that keeps coming back to my mind. It is like this thing is living in the back of my mind. It comes up a lot. It shows up when I am alone and quiet. It shows up when I am doing things. It even shows up at night when I am not busy and my mind is not occupied. This thing I am talking about is a regret. It is something I have felt bad about for a time. I have been carrying this regret around with me for a time. I have been keeping it to myself. Now I think I need to talk about it. I need to say it loud. I owe it to myself to be honest about this regret. I owe it to the truth. So I am going to say it even if I do not say all the details. I am going to say it even if I do not use names. I am going to say it because I need to. I do not like to think about things that I regret. That is something that's true about me. I always try to move and learn from the bad things that happen to me instead of thinking about what could have been different. I think this way of thinking has helped me a lot in my life. It has helped me to keep going and to do things when I am sad or upset. I can still do things, build things even when I am feeling bad, and that is a good thing. There is one thing that I wish I could forget, one thing that I keep thinking about even when I try not to. This thing is always on my mind. It pulls my attention back no matter how hard I try to think about something else. I want to talk about this thing today. I want to tell the truth about it. I do not want to talk about the version of the story that I have made up to make myself feel better. I want to talk about what happened. I want to say the things that I have been thinking but have not said out loud, the things that I have been keeping inside for a time. The regret is about time. More specifically, it is about the way I spent time during a period of my life when the people I love most were available to me in a way that they are not now, and I did not understand the value of that availability while I had it, did not understand it in the way that changes behavior, in the way that makes you put down whatever you are doing and be present for the thing that will not always be available. And I spent that time doing other things, important things, real things, things that mattered and that I do not regret individually, but that collectively added up to a version of my life in which the people who most deserved my full attention did not consistently have it, and I cannot go back and give it to them now, which is the specific quality of this regret that makes it different from the others, that makes it the one that does not respond to the forward movement, because there is no forward version of what I am regretting. There is only the past version that I cannot reach anymore. I think about my mother. I want to say that specifically because I think it is the most honest and most specific version of what I am saying, the version that lands in the actual human details rather than staying in the abstract. And what I think about is how many times she was available to me during the years when I was building and moving and managing everything, how many times the door was open and I was somewhere else. How many conversations did not happen because I was busy with things that felt urgent and were not. How many ordinary moments that would have been extraordinary if I had understood what ordinary moments with the people you love actually are, which is not ordinary at all, which is in fact the most extraordinary thing available to a person. The simple, unremarkable presence of being with someone you love in an unremarkable moment that requires nothing of either of you except to be there, and I was not there enough. And I know that she knew I loved her because I told her, and because the love was visible even when the presence was not. But knowing you are loved and being loved through time and attention are different things, and she deserved the second one more consistently than I gave it to her. I am aware that this is not a unique regret, that almost everyone who has lost time with people they love to the urgency of other things carries some version of this. And I do not think the universality of it makes it lighter. In fact, I think knowing that this is the regret that most people arrive at eventually, that it is the most common thing that people wish they had done differently when they look back at how they spent the irreplaceable resource of their time, makes it heavier rather than lighter, because it means the warning was always available, the lesson was always there in the experience of other people who had already learned it, and I did not learn it in time, I learned it too late, in the specific way that the most important lessons tend to be learned after the window has closed, after the availability has changed, after the moment when the learning would have actually altered anything has passed. There are specific memories that I go back to and that I go back to differently now than I did when they were happening. Moments that at the time felt like small pauses in the flow of everything else, and that I now understand were not pauses at all, but the actual substance of things, the actual content of a life. And the small nature of them, the fact that they were not grand or significant or memorable in any conventional sense, is part of what makes them hit so hard in retrospect. Because if they had been grand, I might have recognized them as important while they were happening, might have been present for them in the full way that grand moments tend to produce, but they were small and ordinary and did not announce their own importance, and I let them pass without the quality of attention they deserved, and I cannot have them back. The regret is not something I act from. I want to be clear about that. I am not someone who wallows, who allows the regret to determine the texture of daily life in an ongoing way. I do not function from this place, and it does not color everything I do or make the present feel impossible, but it is there. It is genuinely and consistently there in the background of things, surfacing in the quiet moments and in the honest moments, and in moments like this one where I have decided to stop managing it and just let it be said. And what I want to say about it, the thing I have never said out loud before today, is that if I could go back to that period with the understanding I have now, with the full weight of knowing what ordinary moments with the people I love actually are and what they are worth, I would not do a single impressive thing differently. I would not change any of the decisions or the achievements or the directions I moved in. I would just be present more. I would put the phone down more and sit in the room more and have the conversation that could happen more and let the ordinary moment be what it was more. And that is it. That is the whole of the regret, that it would not have required any different decisions about the shape of my life, only a different quality of attention to the life I already had, and the simplicity of what I would have needed to do differently makes the regret sharper rather than softer, because I cannot tell myself that the alternative would have been too costly or too difficult. I cannot use the size of what I was building as an adequate justification for the absence, because I am now on the other side of enough of the building to know that the building could have happened alongside more presence, that it was not actually a choice between the two things, that I had made it into a choice that was not inherently a choice, and then lived as though the constraints were real when they were at least partial self imposed. I am saying this out loud for the first time today in this form to whoever is listening, and I am doing it because I think the not saying it has become its own kind of weight that is additional to the weight of the thing itself, and because I believe that some things become slightly lighter when they are said, not resolved and not gone, but lighter. And because I think there might be someone listening who is in the earlier version of this, who still has the window open that I am talking about having not used well enough. And if there is, I want them to hear this from someone who is on the other side of the window, who is looking back at it from the place where you understand what you had when you still had it. And what I want to say to that person is very simple, which is that whatever you are building, whatever feels urgent and important, and like it requires the best of your attention right now, it does not require all of it. It was never going to require all of it. And the part that you have been giving to the urgency at the expense of the ordinary moments with the people who will not always be available in this form, that part belongs to them and you should give it to them while you still can, because the window is open now and open windows have a way of closing without announcing that they are about to close, and you will not know the moment of closing until you are already on the other side of it, wondering why you did not go through when you had the chance.